officials, Josh Kelly, Jacob Johnson, Brandon Rickenberger, and Tim Van Cleve. And the Aces will start things, and we are underway here on your early Saturday evening as Evansville's first possession is taken away, and Drake's defensive line has it now. Melander on the near side moves the ball down, headed by the Evansville defense, and they scoot it, trying to get it back to Nixon. And it will be a throw in on the side. As taking his time getting over there, we're finally going to have the Aces have it there. And we get set up for our first set piece as it's thrown into the middle of the box and knocked around. Evansville with a good early opportunity.
And Logan Muck right there trying to drop it back to Simon Waver, who will come up out of the outside back position defensively to take this long throw in. A little soft pass backwards, but luckily the Aces, for their sake, will keep it in their attacking third.
Well, Waver has another throw in for Evansville. Seems like about 1 million white shirts in the box, and finally that is going to be kicked over the goal and will end up being a goal kick for Drake. But Evansville had a pretty good opportunity right out of the box there, Preston.
Yeah, we're quickly getting up into the offensive attack, and again, basically the attacking third of the field, where a throw-in, especially from Simon Waver, can basically serve as a long cross.
Yeah, we get a look at the Drake coach there, Garrett Smith. He certainly does a good job in his fourth season with Drake and has them playing awfully well this year.
And the one thing about Coach Smith and the thing that he preaches to his team, not necessarily a certain scheme or a tactical advantage, it's more about the mental game that I noticed in our discussions with Coach Smith this week, is that he mostly wants his team to be poised, stay composed, and just play smart soccer. Don't try to overdo things, but also don't try to, again, just do too much. Just kind of keep it simple. Just make the smart play.
Yeah, you get the feeling that Coach Smith could probably coach about any sport out there, including tiddlywinks, as Evansville has the early possession, as they'll move the ball down on the near side to McDougal. Tries to get the through ball down on the near side, and Drake will clear that away. That's Peterson of Drake, as they'll work it back to Brown, and Brown doesn't gun it away this time. He'll just give it to Peterson, and Peterson gets it back to the midfield area. Both teams kind of feeling one another out early, as 50-50 ball now, the midfield area, and here comes Drake. Gets the through ball down to Nzaguzzi. They'll try to get it on his foot, and a foul will be called. So a kick for Drake here, just outside of the box. Let's take another look at that one, Preston.
See Nzaguzzi making a run, and see Norris kind of going for an awkward slide tackle to try to get a piece of it. Just enough to get the whistle, and a decent ranged opportunity here for Drake to take pretty much a direct shot on goal if they want it.
Yeah, they're going to have Nzaguzzi having his foot on the ball as much as possible, as he's a little bit slow getting up, but he has been on fire as of late. The young man, the sophomore out of Lynn-Bar High School, and the Aces will set up their defense here, and an excellent set piece opportunity for the Bulldogs here to start things off.
Basically a four-man wall here. Get a good look.
Well, actually the Aces kind of catch a break there. Reimer off goal, but the shot is just a little bit off near post. As you see there, the head coach of the University of Evansville, Marshall Ray, in his fourth year, and has had these guys playing well, but they're looking to find consistency and have found it in the month of October, as Reimer will have the goal kick for the Aces. As we are just underway, 40-49 to go in the first half.
It's a huge break for the Aces again. Reimer coming off his line, trying to punch the ball away, get something on it, missed. Luckily, that wasn't headed back across the frame of goal and out of bounds.
Well, the Aces get the ball in the box across there, and the Aces get the goal. That is Logan Muck from straight ahead, and will put the Aces on the board, and we're going to take another look at that. An excellent cross, and getting the biscuit in the basket is Muck, and right on, and in the only spot that one of the best goalkeepers in the country, Jared Brown, couldn't get it.
Couldn't get it. Tried to basically come out and just kind of smother the ball off the foot of Muck, but really Brown was kind of caught in a tough situation considering that his defense kind of missed a couple opportunities to try to clear that away, either heading it or a straight up kick away. And basically was left to just come on out and try to get it himself.
We talked about this in the pregame, the fact that Evansville has had trouble scoring, but the month of October so far has been pretty good for UE. And that is, for the Purple Aces, that is certainly an important goal from them, as Drake now will have a kick from midfield. Down to 40:07 to go in the first half. And, you know, the thing right now is the Aces have made the most of their opportunity, and they had Enzaguzzi with the kick right outside the box, and they didn't get that as it's inside the box there, and the defense from Evansville will clear it away. Works it to the midfield area. Okay. Brown has the goal kick for Drake, and they'll work to move the ball in the other direction.
Early goal for this game, considering that last year 1-0 games and featuring some late scoring, but again, just a quality opportunity for Evansville off of a mistake by Drake defensively that Evansville was able to convert to take the early 1-0 lead here today and get off to a fast start, which I'm sure that they really wanted here today in this conference game.
Well, whistle will be called. Foul's going to be on the Aces, and a kick for Drake from just about the midfield area. The thing is, last year, if I remember correctly, Drake won at Evansville and Evansville won at Drake. So the home field advantage meant nothing last year. Yeah, I tell you what, we have a great sideline reporter going to tell us a little more about this series. And Sam, buddy, we're going to send it down now to you.
Oh, with Drake holding a series lead at 16-4-2, they have met 33 consecutive times in the past year. Looking to bounce back, though, as Evansville Aces losing 6 last times in their home stadium. We'll see if that adds a spark to them. Back up to you guys.
Thank you, Sam. Shot direct on to Reimer, and he gets that and will toss it out on the near side to Stafford Lacey. Good to have Sam with us all game long here tonight, our great ESPN3 crew. In the midfield, it's Muck moving the ball down. He's already had some great action with the goal as Evansville sets up again, moving it toward the top of the box. Kicks it down on the near side, trying to chase it down is McDougal. McDougal with the cross, and a couple of bodies get tangled up, and Jared Brown will go retrieve it far post, and we have a Bulldog slow getting up. Melendez slow getting up for Drake, but it appears he's going to be okay. And that is not Brown's best goal kick.
Yeah, kind of caught off the side of his foot, a little side spin. Good to see Melendez get back up, because that was a tough blow to the body, considering that basically had a flying kick come at him.
It's not a game for the faint of heart. Preston, you and I have talked about this before, as that is Enzaguzzi showing his abilities. And Evansville clears it going back the other direction. The defense will move it to front. There's a lot of flying tackles left, right, and sideways, and you don't have a whole lot of padding in this game.
Yeah, there's no protection, there's no guards, and between going up for headers and just overall body contact, especially on corner kicks, it definitely at this point in the season there could be a lot of bruises and bumps, and these players are just trying to battle through them at this point of the year, getting close to the end of the regular season here, mid-October, but still a lot of soccer to be played.
Well, the Aces going good spacing, good foot-to-foot here early. They have a 1-0 advantage, and just as I say that, an unforced error by Muck will give the throw-in to the Drake Bulldogs. As they work it down, that's going to be a throw-in for Drake on the near side. As doing the honors will be, actually coming up and doing the honors now, will be Melendez for the Bulldogs. Beautiful day for soccer here. Glad you're along with us.
Bulldogs just kind of have to now settle in after giving up the early goal, try to find their rhythm, and see if they can get the tempo back in their favor. Again, they don't really want to play up tempo. They just want to, again, just play smart, possessive, quality soccer. Push it when they need to, but yet be patient to let the play develop in front of them.
Well, Melendez working as his pocket picked. And the Aces lose it out of bounds. Drake has the throw. And scoring was at an optimum last year. Both games were 1-0. So you don't expect a whole lot of goals.
And with that second game that took place here in Evansville, Drake getting the 1-0 win, that was a late scoring goal within the last 10 minutes of that game. And then a couple big saves from their goalkeeper a year ago, and Kaden McCullough, including saving a penalty kick in the final minutes against Evansville, where Evansville could have tied the game at that one point of the game and maybe forced overtime.
Well, the Bulldogs have had one pretty good opportunity. Direct kick right outside of the box, and a change of possession now as it's taken away by Evansville. Muck gets the ball there, and the Aces send it back going the other direction. Time of possession a little bit in favor of Evansville early on, as the Aces are getting better. They've been close. They've got 5 ties coming up to this point in time. Long ball down around the box, and that's going to be Waver down there. They had it inside the box again, and another great look on goal for the Aces. And that time it hit far post and just missed Preston. That's the second time here in the ball game that we've moved it in, and we're going to take another look at that right here as we look at the play by Waver, and Waver gets it, and that is about as close as you can come without getting the goal.
Yeah, going right off the post, and you can see the reaction there from goalkeeper Jared Brown. That's twice now where basically just little flicks on and been able to put something on goal.
And with set piece opportunity.
Just getting after his defense to play a little tougher. Giving Evansville way too much room to get a look at the frame of goal inside the box.
Anytime you hit the post. And it also gave the Aces a set piece opportunity as Reimer comes way outside of goal to make that kick. He's back in the goal area now. We have 2 bodies hit the ground midfield. Foul will be called, and we're going to take a look at that once again. Talking about the physicality of this game is there was Muck going down. It seems like Muck's been about in the middle of the action today. And that is going to roll out of bounds on the far side. Should be a throw in for the Aces. Corner kick territory. So even though this isn't a corner, with the ability of Simon Waver, you've got that really all the trappings of a corner here without it with the throw in.
Yeah, again, he has a long throw. Basically, he serves as almost a cross, as going for the front side of the 6 there.
Well, getting a shot there as Muck bounces off a Drake defender, and the counter is on the way.
Logan Muck had to have his eyes kind of come bug-eye with the ball coming right to him wide open at the top of the box, and right up the middle like that with that deflection. Could have easily, if he would have found probably a little window, more of a window to work with, could have had 2 goals already in this game.
You played this game, Preston. What do you think when you see that thing coming up in a situation like that? That's got to be would cause me probably to whiff as Drake moves past the other way. They get it to Nzaguchi inside the box. Good defense by the Aces. And Nzaguchi will move it back toward the midfield area, where Peterson has it, and it will be a throw-in for the Aces in midfield. We're down to 31-29 to go here in the first half. Throwing for the Aces is Eric McDougal, 5'9", 160-pound senior. It's a ball into DeWeese. Back to McDougal, throws it back to the defensive front and chips it across. Evansville has had one of their better halves up to this point as we head down to the 31-minute mark. As you said, Preston, they've had a couple of flicks inside the box and moving it in that direction. Now DeWeese gets it back, and the Aces get ready for the attack. Move the ball back and set things up. I know talking to Coach Smith before the game, he was kind of worried about this Evansville bunch, saying that they had played pretty well. As they get that one inside the box, it's going to roll over the baseline. All those ties that the Aces have this year means they're pretty close, and they're getting better. If they were a stock, they would be on the uptick. As you see, Sizwiski's coming into the contest for Drake.
Yeah, for Evansville, again, the 5 ties, their record not really indicative of really how good they've played, because they just haven't had a few balls bounce their way or catch a couple more breaks in a game. I mean, they could easily have more wins in their results this year, with the exception of a couple of games. But Evansville, again, just haven't had the right breaks go their way this year. I mean, they have played some very good soccer, especially here of late, especially in conference play. They've had already a couple of conference games against 2 very good teams in Central Arkansas and Missouri State, as well as playing against Butler, a non-conference matchup over a week ago. But for Evansville, again, they're just looking to, especially here today, get a result, get a point. That's the most important thing in those standings. Evansville's 5 ties, second most in program history, the record being 6, set in 1979. So again, just kind of a odd year for Evansville, especially getting all those draws.
Well, the one thing that the Aces do have in their advantage, as they have the ball right now, where the ball is muck again, but taken away by Poppin. Poppin gets it to Enzaguzzi, and that tandem has been used a lot, as on the run, that's a shot from outside the box from Fanner, and Reimer with an excellent save. And okay, we have 28:50 to go in the first half here on ESPN3 today with the Purple Aces of Evansville leading Drake 1-0. Logan Muck had the goal for the Aces at 40:32 left in the first half. Walt Frimmer, Preston Leidenbach, good to have you along with us here this afternoon. I was saying, the Aces do have the advantage. This is where the Missouri Valley Conference tournament's going to be played. Counter for Drake. And Zaguzzi down top of the box. He's being marked big time. And it appears, McDougal a little incredulous on that, but it is going to be actually the goal kick, the kick for Reimer and the Aces. And it's as good for Drake, because Drake has the opportunity today to play on the pitch where the Missouri Valley Conference tournament's going to be played.
Yeah, it's just a couple teams that Evansville will host this year that will kind of get the early advantage, getting to play on this grass, get a feel for the surface and how the ball will roll or how it will bounce a certain way. And also for Drake, considering coming all the way from Iowa, get a feel for them. What Coach Smith talked about is just the planning behind traveling and the schedule for game day and what they'll need to plan out in terms of the details later on when the tournament is here. And if they're fortunate enough to make it to the tournament, which right now, as things stand, they would be in.
And one thing we should bring up, the area here down in Evansville, a lot of rain yesterday, a lot of cold fall rain, but this field, Edward McCutcheon Stadium, is in really good shape down on the field before the contest today. It's pretty close to a perfect site, as you're going to have Brown come up and get that one, and we'll roll the ball out.
Yeah, for field conditions, I mean, they're pretty much probably ideal, because even though it was rain pretty much most of the afternoon yesterday here in Evansville, it wasn't heavy downpouring rain. So the field had enough to kind of just absorb the moisture, but yet stay dry enough. And like I said, probably perfect conditions, I would assume, down there on the field.
Yeah, both teams fighting 50-50 balls around the mid right now.
Just enough moisture yesterday in Evansville to kind of just keep the ground a little soft.
Yeah, I would say that it was a very, very steady rain as Melendez moves that back. As Peterson will set it up.
Peterson had the game-winning goal last time the Bulldogs were in Evansville a season ago.
Yeah, moves it to Melendez, and a very patient Drake squad looking for an opening now. As Peterson moves it back to Bartle. And they're moving it back very systematically, and I would think they're running the mids, and that's going to go out of bounds. Will be an Evansville throw-in. That's got to be tiring for the Evansville mids when you're backing there and you're making the defense chase that much.
Yeah, and that might be part of Drake's plan to kind of just wear out. Evansville likes to just really play at a faster pace than Drake, and especially out wide, using the width of the field. But for Drake, this is kind of, now that they can settle in a little bit, this is how they want to play. They want to play systematically, as you said. And the key word that Coach Smith used was very calculated in their build-up of play. Very methodical, just ease their way up the field, again, make the smart pass. No reason to take risky chances. Although he did say he would like to see his offense maybe take a few more shots than what they do, but they don't take a lot of shots, but they do convert on the opportunities that they do take.
They have one of the highest percentages of conversion on shots on goal of anybody, as Monk has that and does the cross inside the box for the Aces, and Drake will clear it away. But Evansville right there. I think their conversion rate is up around it's an unbelievable amount. It's up around 50% as Drake has a throw-in on the far side. Well, you know, and one thing I should bring up is these Bulldogs haven't played for a while. Their last game was postponed. That was against Omaha because the field conditions were terrible. So I guess when you've gone as long as the Bulldogs have without a game, it's not unusual that there might be a little rustiness early.
Yeah, the Bulldogs, fortunately up in Des Moines, they've had a lot of cold weather and a lot more rain than the Evansville Aces have had to deal with, and because of that, their last game out over a week ago against Omaha canceled. So it has been about 2 weeks since they played in a competitive game against a team that's not themselves. And you talked about, to any coach at pretty much most team sports, yeah, they appreciate the chance to train and practice against each other to get better, but there's no feeling like quite getting out there on the competitive surface, whether it be a field or court, to play against another team.
Al, that was about as close as you would